If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. And let's dig in. I've got a 1v1 game for you. And 1v1, although it's the foundation of the game, I think it's neglected by a lot of coaches, or they'll do some 1v1, but I don't think there's a lot of coaching involved. And I think you see that as players start getting to higher levels, this inability to keep the ball or beat a defender or even shield it. So I think it's really, really important, especially with young players, to work a lot on 1v1 in different aspects of the game. So I'm going to do a few different videos, but this one, the specifics to see, and first, this is not to scale, so the goals aren't necessarily that far apart. But depending on age and skill level, you could do this at maybe 15 long by 10 wide, maybe 12 wide. You can get a little short, closer at older ages. Maybe it's 8. But the point of this particular 1v1 game is to encourage change of direction, which is why you have the goals in the corners, of course. But then also the goals are set. Now, unfortunately, my software can't do it perfectly, but the goals should be set. They're basically at a 45-degree angle coming straight out of the corner. So that gives a shooting angle or a passing angle, however you want to look at it. I look at these a lot of times as you're working on quality passing and finishing, because you should be hitting hard, accurate balls on the ground, which will translate to a teammate's feet or the corner of the goal. But by putting the goals at a 45-degree angle, you open up angles for players to shoot from anywhere. For example, if you create an angle here off this defender, like a little fake this way, and then you cut back this way, you have that angle right there. If the goal was facing straight this way, you wouldn't necessarily have that angle, or at least players most likely wouldn't try it. But this opens up a really, really important aspect of 1v1 play. And that is players understanding, well, like I said, change of direction. So you got them in the two corners. So it encourages body and ball fakes and feints one way or the other, and change of direction. If you're dribbling one way, to cut back sharply the other, which a lot of players don't do these sort of things. And then on top of that, you're encouraging them to understand that they don't necessarily, when shooting, especially when shooting, but also when passing, in 1v1 situation, you don't necessarily have to get all the way by a defender in order to create a good angle for your pass or your shot. Right? You see a lot of times, especially shooting more so than passing, but with both, you'll see players, they have that one defender in the way and they try and get all the way around them before they shoot. And you don't have to do that. And they need to understand that, we can go at this defender, and maybe we throw, we throw a fake this way and they slide this way a little bit, and we've got our angle, right? We've got our angle. We don't have to get completely by him and dribble all the way this way. And it's the same thing when you're shooting. You just need to create that angle, get a defender leaning one way just a little bit to create that space for your shot or your pass. So it's really, really important to get players to start working on their change of direction, which is going to involve body fakes, body feints, you know, um, simply lunge fakes, right? The most basic of feints, when you don't even need to do anything special with the ball, because it's just your body who's selling you going one direction and you go the other. So you work on change of direction. So within this game, and you also, which is why I said you're looking at smaller areas, you're also eliminating the just one player is much faster than the other, and it's not really skill. They're just using their speed to go by. But the field here, the area here is too short for that. So it's all about ball control. So you get all the different aspects of 1v1 play: change of speed, change of direction, understanding up and opening passing and shooting angles without beating the defender completely, body feints and fakes, right? Dipping the shoulder, a lunge fake, being explosive. When you do that, make that fake, then that first step the other way, that explosive step away from the defender, that acceleration speed. close control with the ball, again, you're in a situation where that defender is not going to lay back at all in this situation because they'll give up a goal too easily. So you have to be able to keep the ball at your feet. You need to be able to keep the ball at your feet, manipulate it, and throw fakes without letting that ball get ahead of you. You need to be able to speed dribble with every step, and then of course the timing of your moves. And like I said, on reading defenders and throwing a fake and getting them leaning one way and then going the other. So I think you get a lot of those different aspects in this particular game are encouraged. So I think that's really important. I think it's a game that a lot of players really enjoy. In fact, I want to put a link in the description. I actually have I put up a long time ago for them. I had some girls out. I was training, and they just kind of did it for fun. They did it in instead of playing ongoing 1v1, it's done like this where you will have. So again, we're also working on passing and first touch. So you don't want a huge line, but if you've got 4, 5, 6, 8 players, you can do this and keep the pace up. So you have the defender here, boom, they throw the pass out here, and then they come out and defend. So you've got, and to make it easier for themselves as defenders, they're playing it on the ground, but they should be playing a rather difficult ball to control because they want to encourage a big first touch, right? So they can come out and close and cause a turnover. And then the other thing I would add, because the one thing you can't always do it, but I try and eliminate in a lot of drills as possible is play just stopping, right? So the defender comes up, wins the ball. Now they can speed dribble. Well, it doesn't have to be speed, but I want to encourage that because we're working on transition in this aspect, quickly going from defense to offense and creating opportunities. So as soon as if they win the ball and it's still in play, they can go across the entire other end line, but they have to do it under control, right? So as soon as they get past the end line, if they dribble past it, they need to step on the ball to show they've got it under control. They didn't just kick it from 5 yards away. So that it rewards the defender for their good defense, and it makes it much more game like. So I'm going to link that video below so you can just get an example and see some players playing this game visually if you want. And yeah, also on that channel, if you want, there's a lot of stuff for individual players. That's more my channel I've had for a while for individual player development. Although there's some stuff there that coaches can take as well. But you have ball control workouts and things like that, stuff that you can give to your players if you want to encourage them to do some things on their own. So I'm going to leave it there. Sorry about that. Went a little longer than I wanted it to, but hopefully you're enjoying some of this content. If you have comments, I will read them all. If this blows up and there's a ton of them, I might not be able to answer them there, but if it's a good question, I'll use it in another video. So please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next video.